Hey everybody, so I'm hanging out here in Dharma and I'm in this nice little eucalyptus grove. I got some beautiful hills out behind me here, and yeah, I was just on a trip and kind of hanging out on the beach and started walking along where the high tide line was, and a very, very beautiful and pristine beach in Central California. I mean, one of those places that does not seem like it's touched at all by human hands. Even though there's a lot of visitors there, it's still so raw and very pure. And you know, I'm walking along this high tide line and I just start looking down and noticing some trash, and you know, just kind of got into, like, almost made a game of it and started picking up trash along the way. Didn't intend to, just kind of having fun with it for a minute, and then I started realizing how much trash I was collecting. So we're gonna go through a bag of stuff that I found. This is at that beach. I spent about maybe 20 minutes just looking around, and then at just a beach this morning that I just got back from a few miles down the coast with the same kind of thing going for it and being very pure and all that. So about 20 minutes at that place as well, and just kind of go through what I found here. It's kind of a little bag. I don't know. I don't think there's that much in there. Let's see. Really, really long piece of, looks like a plant tie or something. And man, this looks just like seaweed when you're out there, you know, and that's the thing, is this stuff looks just like a lot of the food and environment that the animals are around out there. Got a little coffee filter. Now it's paper, but there's still, you know, I don't want that to be out there. So this is like from a weed whacker here. This is like a blade from a weed whacker. Looks just like a string of green seaweed. Lots of styrofoam here. Big old foam something or other here. And actually was created a nice, I had to shake a whole bunch of stuff. There's all these little guys crawling out of there when I first picked this up, and you know, animals are making a home in this. And even if, you know, okay, so they're living in it, but the problem is this stuff is produced with a lot of toxic chemicals in it, and so it kind of releases those chemicals to those animals, and those animals get eaten by other animals, and those chemicals just kind of go up the food chain. Plastic lid, very, really hard to see, like hard to see in the water right there. More styrofoam. By the way, I don't really have a good table here, so I'm using my trusty California road map, which is good when you don't have any reception. Man, I was glad this wasn't longer when I found it, I remember. It's a big old piece of string. I mean, could you imagine being a bird or something eating that? I'll put all the stringy things in one pile here. Kind of unwieldy. Alright, big flat things here. Alright, what else we got? Little, like a ketchup cup thing. More pieces of, like, plastic cups. It's a paper receipt. Still not really digging on that though. It's gonna be paper stuff over there. This book's gonna fill up quick. Bottle caps. Now these are metal. I think that'll probably break down after a while, but man, it's very, very sharp. I wouldn't want to be eating that stuff either. You got the noise of the world, people passing by here. Another piece of plastic. Oh man, cigarette butts. Wrapping paper from like a candy bar. There's a lot more in here than it looks like. More big chunks of plastic. Little chunks of plastic. And that's also the thing with this stuff, is it never really fully goes away. It just gets smaller and smaller. A piece of styrofoam. And again, you say, what's the big deal? Well, it gets down to so small that it starts releasing all those chemicals we're talking about. Plastic bottle cap. And so even a creature, more of this foam stuff, like maybe like a bird or something, if they were to eat this stuff, it's not even necessarily the chemicals that are a bad thing, but could you imagine, you know, you dive down, this is laying right next to some shells. I had a great example of something in here, I'll show you. It was a piece of foam, I think, that looked just like a piece of seaweed sitting next to it. And just say that was your food or something, you dive down and eat that, you can't get it back out. It's this piece of plastic. So it's taking up space in your stomach, so you feel nice and full. But the problem is it doesn't have anything in there to help you grow or be healthy. It doesn't have any nutrients. So your stomach ends up filling up. You end up getting very full. You don't want to eat, but it's doing nothing for you. And so you slowly starve to death. That's what a lot of these birds are going through. More cigarette butts. More bottle caps. Man, I swear it just became this kind of this little thing I just started doing, And it was really hard not to miss pieces. And once I started thinking about it, I didn't want to stop because I didn't want animals to go through that. Now look at this. This is that piece I was telling you about. There's a piece of foam right here, and it was laying right next to this piece of seaweed like this. It's like exactly the same color, you know? So easy for this stuff to get eaten. A net. Man, could you imagine choking that down? I don't want that in my body. That's a piece of seaweed right there. I try not to take any natural things. Lots of styrofoam here. Plastic, different colored plastics. These big old, that's a plastic something. I don't know what that is. Put it by the bottle caps. It's like almost like a Lego. Cigarette butts. These are like foamy stuff. Oh, last thing too. I don't know if it's the last thing. Lots of Band-Aids. It's a big old chunk of plastic. Looks just like a shell. Lots of Band-Aid pieces down there. Probably from people going swimming in the ocean and losing them. Look at that, it's like a ball. You know? Fish food. You feed your fish food in little pellets like that. Not that ocean fish are used to that stuff, but it's attractive to them. And keep in mind, this is found at a beach that was very pristine. And this is about maybe 40 minutes total collecting, walking around. This thing, gosh, these. And, you know, a lot of the stuff is found around some campfire rings at the second beach. That's, I think, where the bulk of it was kind of concentrated, but, let's see what else we got here. These are like little tiny plastics. Now, what happens is these things start becoming what's called microplastics. And microplastics are those really nasty things we talk about where they're basically so small, they're just gassing off all these toxins and chemicals that cause cancer, carcinogens. Look at all this. Oh, here's another great example. This was a pink piece, and it looked just like a fish laying there. It's actually like a really flimsy piece of plastic, but can you see that? I thought there was like a little tiny fish. I mean, gosh, this stuff looks just like food, and even more like very attractive food because it's very brightly colored, you know? I think it kind of gives the animals a sense of like vibrance. Oh, there's a tasty meal right there, not knowing that it has nothing in it for them. All right, so we're getting down to the end here. So basically, I just want this to kind of bring awareness of, you know, there's a lot more in the bag right there. There's little tiny stuff. Just kind of bringing awareness of, you know, there are far more examples of beaches around the world where this problem is huge. And I had to kind of search for this stuff a little bit, but it was there. I kind of wish that, or I hope that people are very aware of this. I hope that people see this video and they're like, oh yeah, I know about that. Because nobody wants this, you know what I mean? And so I think it just comes down to a question of us being aware of what's happening. You know, I know how it is with me. If I don't know there's a problem, I don't know there's anything to do. And it's not like you have to go out and do anything special. And it's actually kind of fun going out and finding this plastic. It was like a treasure hunt in reverse, you know? And I felt good because I wasn't taking out anything out of the environment. And yeah, it's really fun. So that's, you know, hopefully just a little message right there. And go out and enjoy your beautiful places. Please do everything you can to keep them nice and safe and clean. See you guys later. This is Jeff from MATR saying thanks for watching.